Okay, we're going under the house now. I wasn't able to be just like fully up front in front of the customers. I didn't want to be offensive or anything like that, but they have very bad termite damage, and that's going to cost them thousands of dollars to fix. That damage was definitely very old, and it had happened before we did the treatment on the house. And there's definitely some gray area, but with everything I'm seeing so far, this house was infested with termites back in 2018. You can see all these like old tubes coming up from the ground. Most people would just see this and think it's just dirt, but I can definitely see those old termite tubes there, and there. And there's even some activity here and here. Like those are almost certainly termite tubes. So we're gonna crawl. Oh gosh, I'm not looking forward to this. We're gonna crawl up to where I was underneath the house and see if there's any live termites or anything like that. And I'll show you guys if these termites have caused like major structural damage or just damage inside the house. It's just me and you and our Taurus Dry spray. We're gonna go in here. I got my flashlight. Always need a flashlight. This one's sometimes you just gotta power through. Unfortunately, I don't even have my crawl suit with me today, so I'm going to get very dirty, but it's okay. I'm a dirty boy. Look at this. There's huge ducks. Guess we're going over it. So hold on, everybody. We're in the spot now. This is one of the problems with insulation, is that it does hinder our view in the crawl space a lot. This is right underneath where all that termite activity was, and you can't see anything because of all the insulation, but you can see, a little bit of the sill plate that's sitting on the block where the floor joists are being supported by. And honestly, that looks really good. So termites are almost kind of random where they decide to feed on. It looks like they missed the sill plate and just went straight up to that window, which is great news for the customer. And especially with how much damage was inside, I'm surprised there's not more damage in the crawl space. But just to show you guys, like when we inspect every year, this is what we're looking at. We're looking, around the dirt and up the wall. See those holes in that block there? That's a sign of old termite treatment. And that's also a sign that there were termites in this area at some point. Take a video of the damage first. But like we talked about, there was a little bit of moisture damage coming in from the window that causes termites to prefer certain pieces of wood compared to others. So when you see all this dirt that they bring in, that's signs of termites. They use this dirt to help seal off the environment and to help create sheltered tunnels. There's a ton of dirt over here. This is all insulation, but they bring in this dirt and make these tubes. And gosh, there's huge amounts of tubes right here. And that's all termite dirt. That's not actually old wood. Old wood is here and here. So this is all dirt that they bring up from the ground. Those are subterranean termites. It's an unfortunate case of just hidden termite damage. That's why it is very super important to have your house inspected for termites every year at a minimum. You should get it treated preventatively. Honestly, if you have the money and care about your house, you need a preventative termite treatment done every 10 to 15 years. If you're using the bait stations, then more power to you, but those need to be checked every year at least. And yeah, the customers, like I said, they were negligent in keeping their house protected from termites, and it's finally came around to bite them in the butt. They said they'd owned the house for like 50 years, 45 years or something, and it seems like the first 40 of them, they did not have any termite coverage. Then they noticed they had termites, and then they got their house treated in 2018. And 5 years later, they're renovating and finding all of this major damage. So it is unfortunate. I don't wish it upon anyone, but if you own a home, you have to consider all kinds of problems. In the pest control industry, termites are the number one problem you have to consider when you are a homeowner. So thankfully, I had this Taurus Dry dust with me. It was very helpful in today's treatment. I wanted to do something for the customer. I didn't want to just inspect it and say, oh, sorry. And when I had this, I was able to perform a very efficient on my end. I didn't have to get my hose out of my truck. It was just the chemical, which is awesome, because in the pest control industry, we spend hundreds of dollars a day mixing water with our products. And when you have a ready to use handy product like this Taurus Dust. It's very efficient. I was able to actually treat the house for termites without spending too much of my time, and I was able to bring this inside the house and treat it. So I thank Control Solutions for sending me this product and for sponsoring my channel. Overall technology improvements in the pest control industry just make life so much easier. Just a friendly reminder from Dan the Bugman to please get your houses inspected for termites. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna go back inside and talk to the customers and make sure they don't have any more questions. Obviously they weren't in a great mood, and I'm going to show you guys some of my conversation I had with these customers. I'm explaining kind of how the old termite warranty works that they had this with the previous company, but I'm gonna let you listen in to the conversation and how I explained the warranty to the customer. They didn't have many questions, which was surprising. I was actually fully prepared for them to be angry and upset. They were really nice and they were really quiet, frankly, so it's almost scary. I feel like the wife might have been scheming as to how she was going to bring us to court and if the warranty, was valid. Crawl under the house, and if I don't see any like active termites or anything that shows me that these termites have been here in the past 5 years, then I'm going to officially confirm that it's just old activity that just wasn't specifically shown during the initial inspection. As you can see, that was all hidden behind the sheetrock. But if I go into there and I find new stuff, I'm going to schedule a time for us to come back and do a very thorough soil treatment with a product called Taurus into the ground in the crawl space and around the house. I will crawl into the house and let you guys know what I see. The termites are subterranean termites, so they come from the ground and they work their way up. So the more extensive damage is always around the closer to the ground area. You can see these termite tunnels coming up, and then as you work your way up, the damage gets less and less severe the further up, but there is still all of this tunneling that they've done on both sides. So I'm gonna continue treating voids, and it's great for training too, because new technicians don't know how to handle like termite damage, and obviously this is very important. I mean, this is some of the most significant things we do in our job. It's not like just some ants or spiders, like they're causing real damage. So and it's right here. It's just a front and a back. It's nothing too crazy. We treated it in 2018, and as long as you get it inspected once a year, then we will cover retreating the house if termites ever come back. My instinct is that was probably there whenever we treated it. Does that sound right to you guys? I mean, with the extent, we should have seen it, but it's possible, there's always a void between the bricks and the block. They could have gone up the voids in the blocks or between the bricks. And if you guys had some termite issues in 2018, it's likely that might have already been there. It's not likely that the treatment didn't work unless somehow the technicians that treated it in 2018 did it very poorly. Any needed treatment of reinfestation during the initial 10-year warranty will only be performed provided the said structure owner has consistently maintained all general terms and conditions, which I think you guys have. This, however, for retreatment only, and Toby's Pest Control does not assume any liability for structural damage.
So you don't treat it every year?
We just inspect it every year.
Inspect it?
Yeah.
How often does it need to be retreated?
It probably needs to be retreated every 10 to 15 years. There would have been, at one point, hundreds of termites eating that wood. And if you guys pulled off the drywall and there was no termites in there, then it's almost certainly that it's old. That if it was active, they would have been feeding on it. In normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.